Friday in the big city, working on that inner track. Good and harrowed throughout the afternoon. We had it sealed and tight, packed down pretty tight early on, but it was opened up. Some moisture in the air, overcast skies, but very little rain on this Friday afternoon. Jason Blue and Travis Stone, Aqueduct Insider. And the neat thing about this Friday, and something that's never happened on this circuit ever, 2 carryovers up for grabs, which really spiced things up.
And a huge one in the pick 5. I mean, talk about a big pool that was developing all day long, up to $1.2 million by the time race time came around. Just a tremendous bet. It's already a low takeout. It's 15%. Add the $162,000 carryover to that, you're talking about a great bet.
Yeah, no matter how long you've been around and whether you play the pick 6 or not, even when it sometimes gets up to 2 or 3 days, it just makes things more exciting. Social media was abuzz with the pick 5 and to an extent the pick 6, and we'll get you up to speed regarding the results and payouts on today's card. Let's dive into Friday headlines, though, on MSG Plus. And up first will be a local item in Naira offering free shuttles for Parks horses. Of course, they're going dark after Christmas, and let's get some Parks horses up on the inner track.
Yeah, you know, there's so much that goes into racing. You forget that it costs money to ship horses between tracks, and so this opportunity for horsemen to come up here and race with us, big opportunity for them.
Yeah, the purses are great. There's more information available at Naira.com. If you're a horseman down at a Philly Park or in the Parks area, check it out. Again, Parks is dark. Join us here at the Big A. Purses are big, and there's plenty of opportunity to run with many different class levels. Moving on to the Hall of Fame rider, Edgar Prado. He's 48 years old. Yeah. Kind of bummed to see Edgar get hurt after having such a big second half to 2015. Sounds like he's on the mend, though.
Yeah, I tell you what, whenever a jockey gets hurt, you hate to hear it, but you also like to hear that's not going to be overly serious and to be able to come back eventually. Unfortunately for him, he loses the mount on Run Happy, who obviously is probably the shoe-in for champion sprinter this year. Edgar's been a great rider in terms of what he's done throughout his career. He's a Kentucky Derby winner. He's won a lot of big races, and hopefully we'll see him back sooner than later.
Yeah, we hope that's the case. A great ambassador to the game and turning back the clock. Tell me about it. Winning the King's Bishop, the Phoenix, and it all culminated Breeders' Cup Saturday with this resolute game run over Private Zone to take the 2015 Breeders' Cup Sprint. Another Hall of Fame rider, Gary Stevens, will be at the controls with Run Happy opening day at Santa Anita, of course, the day after Christmas, and that'll be our first day back as well. It's going to be pretty fun to get back to the races on Saturday, December 26th, all over the country. And we wrap things up with perhaps the best New York bred in training, certainly one of them in Fenix, who is spending another winter just taking it easy over in Jimmy Jerkin's barn at Belmont.
Yeah, I tell you what, this was a great effort in the Clark. This was a tough race, a good group of horses. People forget that he was also a very game second to American Pharoah in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Talk about a great training job by Jimmy Jerkins. Just getting this horse to get peak form, maintain peak form, and the best form of his life right now, and glad to hear he's going to be sticking around.
And looking around real fast as they pinpoint, at least with the Stymie, that's the middle of March, a week after the Gotham, I think smack dab in the middle of March for his potential 2016 debut. I mean, that handicap division going forward, we lost a lot of names and star power at the end of this year. There's plenty of room for a horse like FNX to really rule the roost and be near the top.
He's totally developed himself to one of the top handicap horses in the country, period. I mean, he beat a good field in the Clark. He beat a good field behind American Pharoah in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Jimmy Jerkins doing all the right things with him. He's on track to be one of the top-tier handicappers.
All right, the apple certainly didn't fall far from the tree with Jimmy Jerkins, who did an Eclipse Award-worthy job in the training department with FNX. As we didn't have Jimmy Jerkins in action today, we had his assistant, Steve Moyer, out, in fact, in the 5th race today. More on that in a few seconds. 2-year-old fillies, though, that's where we're going. Race number 3, to be precise, on an overcast Friday, but still above warm afternoon at the Big A. Let's do it. John Abrial with the call.
And they're off. Surprise cameo from the inside post goes out for the lead along with Sing Song. Sing Song now takes over. Surprise cameo at the rail. Sacred Season is in between horses with Finger Painter on the outside. Then it's Here Comes Rosie, who's racing in 5th, and Queen's Tiara is the trailer. And now the 2-year-old fillies move around the clubhouse turn. Sing Song has the lead here by a little more than a length. Sacred Season is second by a head. To her outside is Finger Painter, and to her inside is Surprise Cameo. Then it's Here Comes Rosie, Queen's Tiara at the back. The opening quarter mile, 23 3/5 seconds, and they're midway up the back stretch. Sing Song leads now by 2. Sacred Season in second by a head with Surprise Cameo down at the rail in third. Finger Painter, Here Comes Rosie right together, and Queen's Tiara continues to trail. The half went in 49-1. Less than a half mile to the finish, and it is Sing Song on top here. Sing Song continues to lead. The lead's 2 lengths over long shot Sacred Season. Here comes Rosie on the move now up to third. Surprise Cameo down at the rail is now in fourth. Then it's Queen's Tiara and Finger Painter. Midway on the turn, Sing Song has been in front right from the start, has a length and a half lead over Sacred Season. Here comes Rosie on the outside and Surprise Cameo at the rail. They head for home. Sing Song is the leader. Surprise Cameo runs into second. On the outside is Here Comes Rosie, then Sacred Season, and they're all chasing Sing Song, who has the lead inside the 8th pole. Sing Song now by almost 4. Then it's Here Comes Rosie and Surprise Cameo with Sacred Season. Sing Song, wire to wire. Here Comes Rosie was second, close for third between Surprise Cameo and Sacred Season.
And a gray filly by the late, great Unbridled Song gets it done, wire to wire, in race number 3, a $10 bill for John Kimmel.
This is why it's important to take a look at PPs and understand that sometimes horses just need their first start to sort of get going. She made her debut on dirt, made a little bit of a run on the far turn, has not been on dirt since then, but it's easy to forgive and forget she can't handle dirt. She proved us wrong today. Good wire to wire win.
Yeah, definitely. Unbridled Song, Forest Camp, dirt on both sides of the pedigree. Coming back past the list of past Cigar Mile winners and Carter winners. And John Kimmel, a nice training job. Angel Arroyo with the heads-up ride, not playing games, right on the point. Let's move it ahead. Race number 5 on the program as we cash out that Pick 5 carryover, which hit 7 figures today. A lot of money up for grabs. The Jimmy Jerkins horse, Counterculture from the rail, slight favorite. And here's Johnny I.
Well, from the extreme outside, now Stone Supplier moves up. Stone Supplier takes a narrow lead. Congaret right there in second with Counterculture advancing at the rail. And Paw Annie is just in behind the front runners in fourth. Then it's a length and a half to Paradise Peak. And on the outside is Irish Heroine. 3 of them across the track. It's Counterculture, Stone Supplier, and Congaret. And the opening quarter was run in 23 and 4/5 seconds. They move around the turn. Congaret on the outside, Stone Supplier in between. Counterculture is down at the rail. Paradise Peak just off the front runners in fourth. Then it's Paw Annie and Irish Heroine, widest of all as the field comes for the top of the stretch. Now Counterculture drops out of it. It's Congaree and Stone Supplier. Far outside, Irish Heroine. Paradise Peak is coming on now. So 4 of them across the track with a furlong to the finish. Paradise Peak. Stone Supplier battles on towards the rail. Then it's Irish Heroine and Congaret. Paradise Peak narrowly. Stone Supplier, and on the outside, Irish Heroine. Looked like Paradise Peak got it in between horses. Paradise Peak, Stone Supplier, Irish Heroine.
A bold neck by Paradise Peak separated her from the win and running second or third in this race. A good battle down to the finish line, and maybe the ride made the difference here at crunch time.
Great ride from Murata Ortiz Jr., just sitting in behind, angling out to the top of the stretch, getting all he can out of this filly. I'll tell you what, good effort from Stone Supplier down toward the inside. We talked a little bit, maybe the inside was the place to be today. This race is when we really started to have that conversation, the way she dug back in.
Oh, she had to face a challenger throughout. Counterculture to her inside, down the backside, put her away, and then had Paradise Peak, and to a lesser extent, Irish Heroine, who ran okay in her first start since Labor Day weekend of 14 for Eddie Barker.
Not a bad effort there. Good effort, too, from Congaret as well, who was making a first-time start on dirt today with a wide trip, hung tough to mid-stretch. You got to watch these replays to see how these fillies do to the mid-stretch point where you can really get an idea of what they're going to do next time out.
All right, pick 5 for 50 cents, $988, and that is with a bona fide 2 to 5 universal free bingo square single, getting it done in leg number 2. And we will speed, I'll tell you, maybe not as fast as Paradise Peak and the crew in the 5th, but we will head to the opening leg of Friday's late pick 4 on the other side of this quick timeout.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style, as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the second floor at Aqueduct.
My name is Raj. I'm employed by the New York Security Department, and I would like to take this opportunity to extend to all racing fans and all New York workers a happy holiday. And this is from behalf of my co-workers from the Security Department. Thank you and have a great holiday.
He's one of the good guys, our racetrack family here at the Big A, and he will greet you more often than not, standing right at the clubhouse entrance at Aqueduct, and we hope to have you here at the Big A. First day back off the 5-day Christmas break. Talk about a late stocking stuff for the day after Christmas. Nothing better than that 2016 NYRA calendar.
Can't beat that calendar. I tell you what, that's a good day of racing, too. We're back in action. Santa Anita opens up. It's a must-be-here day.
All right. Good stuff there. $3 per calendar. It's Travis and Jason. Second segment here on this Friday edition of Aqueduct Insider. We already cashed out the Pick 5. Well, what about the late Pick 4 and Pick 6 carryover, by the way? We'll find out what happened in race number 6 right now. John Brielle is mic'd up, standing by, and he has got the call around 2 turns.
And they're off. Slow start for number 12, Fleet First, and he's last in the early going. Reach for Yield is out for the lead. Hetty Creek runs in second. Then it's Chase Lane, and on the outside, Summit Moon. The field moves into the clubhouse turn. Reach for Yield is the leader. Summit Moon, Chase Lane, and Hetty Creek, those three are all together. Then it's Special Agent, who's racing in 5th, Winnitude is 6th, Cowboy Boots in 7th, Break of 3 to Police Camp in 8th, 2 more to Nush's Tail and Blackwater Charlie, and another 6 back to Fleet First, the trailer in 11th. They're racing up the backstretch. Reach for Yield has the lead here by a long neck over Summit Moon. A break of 2. Special Agent on the outside of Chase Lane. Their heads apart 3rd and 4th with Cowboy Boots next in 5th. The quarter went in 23 and 4 and the half in 48 and 3. Farther back, it's Police Camp, followed on the inside by Hetty Creek. Then comes Winnitude, Nush's Tail, Blackwater, Charlie, and Fleet First continues to trail the field. As they move around the far turn, Reach for Yield and Summit Moon, and now the two of them are right together with Special Agent. Moving up on the outside from 3rd, Chase Lane is down towards the rail in 4th. Cowboy Boots is on the move, and Police Camp follows him. The field comes into the stretch. Summit Moon, Special Agent, Chase Lane looking for a way through. Cowboy Boots on the outside. Then Police Camp. It is Special Agent and Chase Lane. Those two right together. Cowboy Boots in 3rd. There's a 16th to the wire. Special Agent takes the lead from Chase Lane. And as they come down for the finish, it will be Special Agent by a half length. Chase Lane was 2nd. Cowboy Boots 3rd. And Police Camp was 4th.
It's a tough game sometimes. How about the pedigree on Special Agent, who ran well with the wide trip? 5 Medaglia d'Oro out of a, if I'm not mistaken, Kentucky Oaks champion in secret status.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't pan out, sometimes it does. It's a very tough game when you play that breeding game. This is a good effort, though, from Special Agent. Danny Gargan with another first off the claim performance. He's got great ROI numbers coming first off the claim. And good effort from Chase Lane, too, who worked out a really good trip, pushing up on through their top of the stretch, just couldn't quite get there.
All right, our old Parks transplant, Kendrick Carmouche, has really found a nice niche on this circuit. Yeah. Saratoga, Belmont, and especially on the inner track was aboard for Danny Gargan. Kendrick rides for a lot of live outfits, and that will continue all winter long as we get it to a 6-furlong race. We had run 7. We had 2 remaining. In fact, a pair of sprints to end the card. Here's the Friday feature, a starter allowance for fillies and mares right now.
And they're off. Autumn Squall going for the lead. Rowdy Alley now moves up the rail and is up to challenge. So it's Autumn Squall and Rowdy Alley. Heads apart as they head up the backstretch. Yes for Success. Hush Now heads apart third and fourth. On the outside is Stone-Hearted Lover with Cara Moss alongside. Then comes Esther the Queen, and Southern Sunshine is at the back in eighth. The opening quarter mile, 23 and 2/5 seconds. Rowdy Alley down at the rail leads by 3/4 of a length. Yes for Success giving chase in second. Hush Now. And on the outside, Autumn Squall. Then comes Cara Moss in fifth, followed by Stone-Hearted Lover, Southern Sunshine, and Esther the Queen. They're moving for the head of the stretch. And it's Rowdy Alley in front. Rowdy Alley ran a half in 47 and 2 as a 2-length lead. Hush Now is running in second. Then Cara Moss is down at the rail, followed by Autumn Squall. Rowdy Alley holding off Hush Now. Rowdy Alley by 2. Hush Now is second. Cara Moss is third. And it is Rowdy Alley, a 2.5-length winner. Hush Now was second. Cara Moss finished third. It was a photo for 4.
Nothing wrong with those inside pass on the inner track today. And speaking of park shippers, here's a Pennsylvania bred who had started 3 of her last 4 down at Parks. Good ride here from Eric Consell.
It was identifying an opportunity to get to the lead from the inside and ran well. Granted, the inside probably, like you said, was the place to be today. Autumn Squall was taking it to her right from the top, and they went head to head early on. And at the end of the day, the inside path carried her home from the inside. Good
Kelly
ride.
Breen, a sharp guy. He's got a little string over at Belmont Park. He seems, and Eric Donovan and I were talking after this race, and the winner paid 14 and change. But Kelly Breen is one of these Mid-Atlantic guys, for lack of a better term, who seems to be able to really ship in and get it done no matter where we are out of the 3 tracks at the time of the year.
And he's not willing to take a chance. I mean, he's willing to take a chance, I should say. He's willing to put horses in spots he might otherwise not want to put them in. He's willing to gamble a little bit. He's an aggressive trainer. He's put horses in stakes races. Obviously, he's won the Belmont. He's an underrated trainer in the Mid-Atlantic. Into the Northeast, too. He knows how to ship up here and get the job done.
Yeah, maybe a few horsemen would have been very hesitant running Ruler on Ice in the slop that year back in 2011 at Belmont Park. Won the Test of the Champion, and Pants on Fire wound up backing over $1 million for Kelly Breen, biting off some pretty tough spots at times, but eventually they worked out. Here's the rapid fire pick 5 as we send it back to the first post at around 12:20 and change. They were a little lackadaisical getting into the starting gate with that big pick 5 carryover. It is Quibbler by herself, and we'll follow her with 2, 4, 7, and 9 and Johnny I.
The rail, 3/4 up in 1, 15 and 2, and Quibbler has turned this into a rout. An 1/8 of a mile to the finish, and Quibbler has built a 12-length lead. Then it's Bubba Zena. Down at the rail is Lady Chocolata. It's the 8-5 favorite Quibbler to win the first leg in this $1 million pick 5. Quibbler the winner. Lady Chocolata was second. Then Bubba Zena and that Warrior Girl. By Little Gidding. The field is at the top of the stretch. Midnight Champagne has now opened up a 4-length lead. Kelly's Prize in second. Little Giddings on the outside. Then Rock Show, Spa Town Parade, and Swakop Monde. They're coming down for the 16th pole. Midnight Champagne leads now by 5, and the battle will be for second. She had a stumbling start, but an excellent finish. Midnight Champagne takes it at 2-5. Kelly's Prize held second over Rock Show. Little Gidding was fourth. Sugar, Strong Dude, and Bibbo. The field is in the stretch. It's Core Portfolio, Tom's Gift on the outside. Core Portfolio narrowly. Tom's Gift drifting out in the stretch. How's Your Sugar is third as they pass the 8th pole. Core Portfolio still in front. Tom's Gift and How's Your Sugar giving chase. They come down for the finish. Core Portfolio and Tom's Gift. Core Portfolio holds on. Looked like Tom's Gift held on to second over the late closing Ghost Catcher. At the top of the stretch, and Divine Child has taken over the lead. Divine Child in front. Then Misner Park, Mac Miller, 49 watts, and Chairman Now. It's Divine Child with a 3-length lead. Here come the Grays now, 49 watts. And in between horses, it's Chairman Now. They're up to challenge for the lead. It's 49 watts and Chairman Now. It's between those two as they hit the finish line. It's ahead, Bob. Was it Chairman Now or 49 watts? Divine Child faded to third. Dat Cat and Mrs. Brenner. They come into the stretch, the half in 48-1. Whimsy's Girl, Rahi's Bandit on the outside. Whimsy's Girl has a 2-length lead. Rahi's Bandit in second. Then Karenina Gal, followed by Who Dat Cat, Mrs. Brenner, and Super City. Whimsy's Girl in front. As they come for the wire, it's Whimsy's Girl drifting out a bit there, but holding on to the lead. Rahi's Bandit was second, then Who Dat Cat and Karenina Gal.
Well, the Ortiz boys combined for 4 wins on today's 9-race program. 1 filly, Travis, covered in the nightcap, and that happened to be Whimsy's Girl in the pick 6. No double carryover in a Saturday.
Caught the right race today. I mean, she was tough to trust on paper at a short price, but at the end of the day, she was just too good for those.
Yeah, 4 to 5 Galtome at 380 and change, or thereabouts, as we go to Cappy upstairs with the Binocs. Little Friday second look back to the 4th. As far as events go, this was the craziest, most eventful race on the card. Here's our ISO shot to the clubhouse turn with Bunyan, who's on the rail. They hit the first turn, and he bore out.
And then took out some others as well. So, I mean, this is Keir McLaughlin's move, right? Second-time starters dropping down, adding Lasix. A lot of talk on this horse, and all of a sudden can't handle the first turn and takes out Tom's Gift, who's to the outside there in the red cap. I mean, this is game over for these two at this point, going 2 turns. I mean, they're done. But as you'll see when they start to make their way into the stretch, because, I mean, even still struggling here to the backstretch, 6 furlongs left. Now you can see Bunyan on the left-hand side of the screen back into the picture while Tom's Gift is fighting on the outside. 2 huge efforts, 2 trips you have to take a look at when they come back next time out.
And this race and this effort from both these horses might springboard them on to trips and traps with you and Richard Migliori next time you guys film that show, and solid efforts in defeat. In the end, though, it was Aaron Grider, and that's what you get with Aaron. You get a veteran rider who knows the lay of the land, and he sees the opportunity. The one drifted, he was right there to take his spot on the rail.
He did the right thing, just totally getting that horse right to the inside. They bolt to the outside. He takes that inside path, backs the pace down a nice way, and is able to hang on. Got a little bit leg weary late. Huge efforts from those runners up, but you can't take anything away from Grider. Good ride.
State bred by Haynesfield. Aaron Grider picking up a victory today, and this really ran the gamut between young guys in the room getting victories, and Aaron Grider is one of the older guys getting a W as well. Jose Ortiz, another riding double. Erod picked up a pair of victories as well today. Singles for everybody else, and we'll go to the trainer standings, and looking around, some familiar names, some longtime trainers picked up victories today. Mike Maselli, Bruce Levine, John Kimmel, Rick Violet, Steve Gluceris, Chris Engelhardt. The list went on and on. And a quiet day in the claim box with just 3 claims on the program. Mac Miller, he was popular for 10,000. Mile and a 16th around 2 turns. Not really his best game. A 7-way shake for the dime. 49 Watts, who can go the distance, claimed by Emron Ibrahim, and Cowboy Boots, who I also think is better around 1 turn. Randy, if you're listening, you claim both Cowboy Boots and Mac Miller. Cut them back to 3/4 on the inner track off the claim. In the meantime, Todd Pletcher's barn looks for their 5th Queens County victory, a 2-pronged attack coming up in the Saturday feature.
Hi, my name is Dylan Davis, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday.
Kid's always smiling, Dylan Davis. Another big winter prime for him on the inner track. And Dylan playing part in that $200,000 guaranteed late pick 4, in addition to a number of the top riders in the colony currently. We'll kick it off in race number 6 tomorrow afternoon. It is anchored by the Queens County. More on the feature in just a second. Race number 3 with Travis and Jason is up next, breaking down the keys to the race. We'll get the 3rd out of the way fairly early on the program. It's a high-quality allowance, class relief for a fortuitous path. Between the lines, could he be set for his 3rd best after the layoff, or his best after a layoff? And Revan Green, the main speed, perhaps coming in from out of town for Eddie Keneally, but getting to fortuitous path. Here he comes. He's about to slice his way through down towards the inside, the number 5, and he's been pretty sharp.
I tell you what, he ran behind a pretty good animal last time, and El Kabir, too, who is nice to see him back on the comeback trail. Fortuitous Path fits this race like a glove. Any sort of return to its prior form that he showed here at Belmont Park is going to be very tough. Good outside draw. Rudy Rodriguez, leading the trainer standings, has a big hand in this one.
2.5 to 1 on the morning line as we switch over to Between the Lines. As I was trying to say, could he be set for his best 3rd off the bench? He's going to need to be better than this hang outstanding job on the Cigar Mile undercard.
Fair point, but let's be real. He's also a very consistent horse. Rarely is off the board. In fact, runs his race almost always. It's hard to knock a horse that does that. Improved last time out numbers-wise. Another step forward, he could be there, but you're right, needs a little bit more.
Outside post for Reverend Green. He'll have Kendrick Carmouche at the controls, and Eddie Keneally brings a horse who at first glance appears to be a touch cheaper. What do you think of the fields he caught at Churchill Downs?
This race looks familiar. I mean, Reverend Green did well last time out, but, the horses behind him aren't that strong. I mean, Wable's a sort of an allowance-type 80-buyer-ish horse, and the third-place finisher is a $50,000 claimer. So this is a big step up, but again, you can overcome those challenges when you have lone speed-type situations. So we'll see from that outside post.
It's in the pick 5, early pick 4, race number 3, solid field of 8. And let's fast forward. Speaking of 8, it is our featured 8th race, the $100,000 Queens County Tommy Macho, pretty solid 3-year-old. He meets Elders for the first time. Is there enough pace in the race for the late-running Kid Cruz? And will today be, or tomorrow, a better setup for My Loot, who likes to grind away? Here is Tommy Macho, who's gotten his act together for Todd Pletcher. He'll come into this race off a career-best victory in the Discovery.
He's part of a 3-year-old crop that all year long has been touted as one of the best we've seen in recent memory. He's developed nicely. Pletcher's been a little bit patient with him. His last effort was strong. Granted, it was on a sloppy track. I think his big advantage tomorrow as he faces Elders for the first time is who's going to go with him early. He's got a big pace advantage if he wants it.
And it's back to the Big Apple for Linda Rice's Kid Cruz. What a claim this former $50,000 pickup has been. Penn National trying to make up about 15. He fell a half-length short in this race.
I know he's a deep closer. You know he needs the pace to help him, but let's give him some credit, too. He's 11 for 15 on the board, 5 wins, 5 runner-ups. It's rare that you see deep closers with that such consistency. Credit to Linda for doing a great job with him over the long run. We'll need some help tomorrow, though. Need some pace.
Todd Pletcher won the Queens County a year ago with Micromanage. Manny Franco, who turns 21 tomorrow, December 19th, rode that horse. Well, Todd has Tommy Macho. He's also got My Loot, who will try to pick up the pieces here behind Bay of Plenty. This horse has burned some money, but if he shows up with one of his better efforts, he could be right there.
Everybody forgets he was trying to run down Oxbow with a good effort in the Preakness not too many years ago. And I will say this, he's done well this year, but his best efforts have been at Belmont Park. We're at Aqueduct. We'll see how he does tomorrow. He's not going to get much pace help, and he's probably going to get bet a little bit, too.
We're nearly out of time, and in fact, as we say goodnight, and thank you again for joining us here on Aqueduct Insider, how about the New York career of Tonalist as we continue on with our top 19 of 15, the resume this horse put up in New York?
Really sorry to see him retire. He's been so much fun to watch over the last couple of years. Big performance after big performance. Really one of the best horses we've seen on this circuit.
A Belmont, 2 Gold Cups, Peter Pan, Westchester, and he went out in style, taking the Grade 1 Cigar Mile late last month for Christophe Camont and Hall of Famer Johnny V. That'll do it for Travis and I. Enjoy Tonalist in his swan song, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on MSG+.
Went there in 24 seconds. Martin Pedrosa's got a good hold there on Private Zone, leads by a little more than a length. Then it's Matru and Red Vine and Mashawish in between horses. Tonalist is 5th, almost 4 lengths from the lead. Farther back is the big long shot Full of Mine. And the opening half was running 48 and 2/5 seconds. And it is Private Zone leading the field midway around the far turn. Private Zone by a length. Matru is in 2nd. Red Vine to his inside in 3rd. Then it's Mashawish in 4th. Tonalist still with a lot to do. And Full of Mine at the back. And now they're moving for the head of the stretch. Private Zone holding on to the lead here. And it's Matru, Mashawish on the far outside. Red Vine in behind as they pass the 3/16 pole. Private Zone challenged here by Matru and Mashawish. Mashawish on the outside and Matru. Those two are right together. Tonalist is putting in a big late run, and Red Vine is splitting horses. The 4 of them come down to the line. Look like Tonalist got there. Tonalist with a big late run to win the Cigar Mile.